We're up. Well, g'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Larkhill Sportsplex. And we've had some technical difficulties here. You've missed the first half an hour of this game. It's been an enthralling battle so far. At the moment, it's the home team, the Rockingham Sharks, leading the Joondalup Giants 10 points to 4. About 10 minutes to go in the first 40. It's Taurine Sheehan. Turns that one underneath for Shane Harding. Joondalup had a pretty good period early, but couldn't break the Rockingham Sharks' defence. Rockingham went down the other end and scored first points. It was a great try from Brad Sparrow to bring it back to 6-4, but Brendan White, as we see Sparrow looking to get a double himself, steps inside, and Sparrow gets his second of the day. Well, both teams have got players with doubles on the left-hand edge. For the Rockingham Sharks, Brendan White with 2. And the Joondalup Giants, the second of the day for Brad Sparrow. He goes across, makes it 10 points to 8 with a kick to come. This one will be a little bit easier for Gus Marshall. Similar position. Maybe a further 10 metres in from touch though. His first one didn't have the legs. Then trading tries. The Giants and the Sharks. From out wide. A chance to level the scores. Moves in. Strikes it pretty nicely. He's kicked through that one a little better. And straight over it goes. We're all locked up at 10-all. 7 minutes left in the first half. And the second try in particular for Brendan White was an absolute ripper. Keelan Tuta going across field. Got the classic hard running edge forward. Brendan White running a great angle. Going straight through the hole. Fido Kelly will charge it back now for the Giants. We're finally back up and running. Apologies once again for the delay. We had about 5 minutes before kick-off power went out, and we got that problem resolved. It was a faulty power board, and had some other technical issues and trying to get the live stream all hooked up. But we're up and running now. The Sparrow. It's been big for the Giants, working down that left-hand corridor. Quick play the ball. Coleman out of dummy half. He goes to Haney, always dangerous. Hunting it around the ruck. You've got to be aware. Murphy closes that one down with Ben Bolth, who's out there with his head strapped. And that kick, and not for the first time out on the full. Well, that one would have missed a second field. That was so far out on the full. We could have had a second rugby league field beside this one. And it would have missed that one as well. It looks like Dominic Fido Kelly's actually come off the field with a bit of an issue. He's just in behind the touch judge. It was a very short-lived stint from him, so hopefully there's not too much wrong and he can make his way back. But hobbling back towards the bench. Williams plays that one. Jeffrey scoots out of dummy half. Dummies to no one. There was no one up there with him. And as a consequence, no one fell for it. Davis whacks him. That one turned underneath. Peter Worth Jr. Game number 200. Legend of the club. And he gets his side a penalty. Ruled to have been stripped out. Jeffrey taps it, gives it to Williams. Williams bumps away from the first. River Coleman. He has to come again for a second and a third attempt. Now Jeffrey across to Tudor. Now they come back in towards the teeth of it with Goodwin. He plays it back to Jeffrey. Tudor, dummy to the inside, goes himself, looks to bump away. Standing, he's been hard to handle. Reaches out, puts it down. Well, they just could not stop him. He kept going. Gus Marshall pointing to where the ball is short of the line. The referee disagrees. He points to the spot, and the Rockingham Sharks are back in front. Well, Keelan Tudor on that side of the field, he's broken about 15 tackles already in this opening 40. He busted another couple to add to his stats, as well as adding a 4-pointer to that line. The Rockingham Sharks, their first game of the year after having the bye in round 1. Effectively, both these teams unbeaten coming into this game in round 2. I say that tongue planted firmly in cheek. The Rockingham Sharks, their first game of the year, and the Giants had a draw to start the year against the South Perth Lions. 5-team competition, 4 teams unbeaten after round 1. Kick from out wide. McLaughlin will watch the touch, judges. We don't have the best of angles ourselves. Moves in. Looks like it's going across the face, and it is waved away. But it's the Rockingham Sharks in front on the cash converter scoreboard, 14 points to 10. With 2.5 minutes until half time. Gus Marshall races back to the halfway line. They want another crack. And again puts that one up high into the sky. Always tough to handle. There's a bit of breeze, as you might be able to hear through the effects mic. You saw in some of the earlier games, fullbacks and wingers having a horrid time with anything that goes up high. The Sharks, they diffuse that one fairly well as Jeffrey scoots out a dummy half. He gets that one to McIntyre, running back in behind the ruck. They work down the short side with McLaughlin. Dummies, goes, runs into Sparrow, spins away from him up towards the 40-metre line. That's the Giants' 40-metre line. Now Murphy. He spins away from Sparrow as well. Murphy on tackle 5. Plays the ball. He chases out after Sparrow and has some words to him. He's left the football behind. Well, he wasn't too happy with the shot there from Sparrow. Tom Murphy, rather than playing the football correctly, has actually cost his team. He's still having words with Sparrow. I can tell you neither of those two are going to take a backward step here today. That's an error that goes against Rockingham. So Joondalup. They survive as Chaplin. Looks like he's out on the field. I don't think he's been out there too long. It's Carruth. Carruth going across field. Always dangerous when he straightens off that right boot. Andrew Jeffrey makes the tackle on this occasion. Chaplin again runs into Murphy. Wrestled down. They look to control the ruck. They normally do whenever Murphy gets involved. The experience of Worth in there as well. It's Kingy. He's put down for the Giants. Go to Marshall. Marshall, well, a bit of it was almost a hospital pass, but somehow there Haggett managed to ride through that tackle and pick up an extra 10 metres. Wants the penalty on tackle 5. The referee's not falling for that. It comes to Marshall. The pressure comes from the inside from Jeffrey. He gets boot to ball. It's up in the air. They're not going to try and attempt to catch that one. That could be anybody's ball. It sits up. It's going to be picked up by Carruth. It's still the final tackle. Carruth will be tackled on the final play of the first half. Logan Barclay comes up with a good shot. That should be half time. The referee gets the football in hand. That's the end of the opening 40. Brought you the last 10 minutes of it. It's the Rockingham Sharks leading 14 points to 10 at half time. It's been an enthralling battle. Teams have exchanged tries. Rockingham scored first, then Joondalup, then Rockingham, then Joondalup, and Rockingham gets the last say of the opening 40 to lead 14-10 in their first clash of 2024. The Giants their second. We'll take a break and be back with the second half shortly. Well, g'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for the second half of the Fuel to Go and Play Premiership. And this week's key game between the Rockingham Sharks and the Joondalup Giants. Before we do get underway, around the grounds for Atlas, it's the North Beach Seagulls leading the South Perth Lions 14 points to 10. And George Bonantas, we see both teams making their way out into the middle, the mini players just making their way off after having a bit of a run around at half time, entertaining the crowd here in Rockingham. The Sharks 14-10 in this one as well at half time, so the same score in both games. And what's looking a very, very competitive competition here in 2024 in NRLWA. With the Joondalup Giants to kick off in the second half, chasing points early. That's the way it's gone so far. Teams trading points, and Rockingham having the last say of the opening 40 to take the lead. Hear the dulcet tones of referee Scott Spittle. His microphone working here in the second half. As Gus Marshall gets us underway. Rockingham with the first carry, and straight away a penalty, creeping up high with that first play of the half, Peter Worth. Well, he would have worn a couple of them throughout his 200 games. Rockingham straight away get the kick for the line. Tap and go. So go towards the middle. Through the man that's got 2 tries next to his name. Now charging straight through the middle. Look, got the arms free, but they put it down. Turkana Williams, he's been a handful since he's got out there. Just pushed that pass. Andrew Jeffrey unable to handle it. The Joondalup Giants get the ball, and they're just on the Shark side of halfway, although Joondalup fire straight back with an error of their own. Rangi Kingi unable to handle it, and but the game has been stopped. It was interesting the way that it was stopped. It was a Rockingham player that stayed down. A Joondalup trainer came on with a hand up as well, trying to stop the play. I think it might be Jack Bullard that's coming from the field for Joondalup. Going through a bit of a concussion test here for the Sharks. We will be back underway momentarily. Joel Irvine making his way out onto the field. We're back underway. Murphy takes it up over the halfway line for the Sharks, although they try to drive him back beyond that mark. Holds his ground well enough. Jeffrey out of dummy half, and Andrew Jeffrey goes through half a hole. He wants to play on. He's allowed to play on. He looks to skip through Irvine as well. Hits the ground, slow to his feet. Come to the right-hand side, straightening. McIntyre. Jeffrey again underneath the Murphy. Murphy's put it down. And again, there's a player down. I think that's Davis. It might be Tyron Davis that's down there for the Giants. Oh, we've had a few stoppages in the opening minutes of this second 40. It's Tyron Davis just hobbling over into the corner, and we're going to have a scrum, no advantage after the Murphy knock on. It's been a high quality first 40, but both teams coming up with a few errors to open the second 40 of this game. Round 2 of the Fuel to Go and Play Premiership. Both teams undefeated, while at the same time looking for their first win of the season. It's Travis Haney, he's put down. Coleman, he gets at a dummy half, caught up around the shoulder there by White. Now Chaplin, he's put down onto his back. That'll slow things down. They go to Marshall. Marshall looks to drive that one low. Goodwin had it covered. Had to get across to it too. It was a good kick from Marshall. Goodwin well positioned. And you heard the referee there. All off. Everyone offside. Waited for the play to play out before awarding the penalty. And that's a bit of a gift for Rockingham and a chance for them to extend their lead. They're up 14 points to 10. They find the touchline and they'll go on the attack. Goes to Tudor. He looks to get it towards the middle through White. White looks to spin away from the first. Now Jeffrey goes to Worth. That pass out the back to Goodwin. It's gone backwards, picked up by Barclay. Gets away from Sparrow. Barclay stands. He dumps it out the back. Well, that was horrible there from the Rockingham Sharks. And Joondalup come up with the ball. Well, Rockingham just no patience with the football at all there. Just looking to force passes when it's not necessary. They've done that a couple of times in this second half already. So now it'll be Joondalup instead with the opportunities. It goes to Marshall. Marshall to Irvine. Irvine, he almost stops as he gets to the line. He forces a pass. It's intercepted by Andrew Jeffrey. Jeffrey gets away from Marshall. Caruth giving chase. Well, that was an interesting foot race if ever I've seen one. Andrew Jeffrey and Zine Caruth, and Caruth wins the battle. Murphy now for the Sharks. He pops it back to Jeffrey again. He doesn't want another long run, so puts it wider. Here's a chance for the Sharks. They straighten. They go towards the line. The cover defence gets across, but they can't stop him. A try for James Blackburn. They point to the spot, and Blackburn back in the NRLWA and back with a vengeance. They're out to an 8-point lead, and that all came from another forced pass in this second half, this time from Joondalup. An intercept from Andrew Jeffrey, who was never going to have the legs to run the distance himself, but the next play, they go from Jeffrey, he goes out wide to James Blackburn, and he shows a cool head and a lot of experience, and goes across to score the 6th try of this game. Makes this one 18-10 with the kick to come. McLaughlin with the kick from out wide. We've seen a few kicks from a similar spot. Gus Marshall had a couple of attempts from here for the Giants in the first half. McLaughlin. There's 1 from 3 so far, and that one stays out to the left. 1 up, 1 down, and waved away. Well, I'm not sure exactly about the positioning of the touch judge that had his flag in the air. That one certainly from our angle looked like it missed. And the referee agreed, so that one is waved away. 18 points to 10. 32 minutes remaining. That kick goes down and Worth will charge back again. And again met solidly, this time a little bit lower. Well, and the penalty goes there against Niwasiolo, who's only just out onto the field, I'm pretty sure. So Peter Worth had 2 carries back from the back fence, and both of them are drawn penalties. The Sharks make sure they find touch there. On the bounce onto the roof. Down it comes. Now the try scorer. Blackburn goes up over the halfway line in the first play. Sloppy play the ball. Goes to White. White looks to spin out of the tackle of Marshall. Marshall just holding on. Now Williams. Williams again, he targets Marshall as well. There might be some tactics in that. And again, wanted to quicker play the ball than he was allowed. Goes to Murphy. Murphy. He dumps it out the back. Jeffrey again bumps away from one. He goes wider, straightening. Now McIntyre will play the ball. Murphy again through the middle. This time goes out the back. It's caught on the fingertips of Tudor. Tudor floats one out wide. Blackburn put down on tackle 5. It's the last play, and again we're going to have time out. Blackburn stays down on the ground. And straight away you saw some the Giants showing some compassion. We hear the screams of anguish there from James Blackburn, so just coming through the referee's effects mark there that he's in some pain. Might get the double blow here, the injury, and touch judge saying that he's let go of the ball, so there's going to be a scrum. You might have some delay here. 18 points to 10. Got half an hour left to play. The Sharks in front, a double to Brendan White. Try to Keelan Tuta and James Blackburn. Well, for the Joondalup Giants, a double to Brad Sparrow, and we hear the confirmation there from referee Scott Spittle saying that he lost the ball before he called time out. So despite the injury, Rockingham are also going to lose possession. They're going to hand this over to the Giants. So they lose their centre and they lose the ball. So Marcel Loader making his way out onto the field to try and work out exactly what adjustments they make. At the moment, it looks like Brendan White is going to slot into the centres. We'll have to see if they remain that way through this defensive set. It does certainly appear that way, so Marcel Loader. Oof. Again, the ball coming free, and some heavy defence there from the Sharks has forced the error. Well, you kind of feel like the first team to be able to control possession might just take control of this game. The Rockingham Sharks, they're out by 8 at the moment, and they'll have a great opportunity to extend that lead. They look set up, out to the right. Lots of pointing here from Daniel Goodwin at first receiver. They break from the scrum. Just picked up there by McLaughlin. He takes the tackle. Jeffrey at dummy half. Goes to Tudor. They go out to White. White. He's chopped down low. An important tackle had to be made. The pass from dummy half, not the best on the bounce to Murphy. He makes the best of it. And wants a fast play the ball, and there's the penalty. Well, Coleman just holding on too much. He wants to argue his case. Jeffrey will eventually tap it. Goes to Williams. Williams. He goes towards the line. He's not too far away. Well, he got over the line, but after the held call, told to go back to his mark. And now a juggle and a drop picked up some counter-attack opportunity. Travis Haney dangerous in those situations. That'll be the 0 tackle. Sparrow gets out of dummy half and picks up an easy 10 metres. 0 there from McIntyre. Lets them off the hook, and now a penalty to the Joondalup Giants. Sparrow earning that one. And Joondalup, well, they've had to do a fair bit of defence. It's been of their own doing. They've made a fair few errors. No thoughts of kicking for the sideline, so just to play the ball. Coleman at dummy half. Goes to Irvine. They tip that one wide up to Niwasiolo. He's put down just beyond the halfway line. Now Kingy. Kingy to Carruth. Carruth. Well, he runs over the top of one, but doesn't. Finds a runner coming back in behind the ruck. Now at a dummy half and a good run. On the final play, Marshall at dummy half. Goes to Chaplin. He rolls it in behind. And the Sharks, they get to the ball first, but come up with the error. It's made a blue as he's tried to clean that one up, so the Giants will get another set of 6. In perfect field position. A golden opportunity. Get themselves back into this one. Coleman at the base of the scrum. He goes to Marshall. Marshall out the back. Haney bounces away from the first. White though comes again to finish off the tackle. Now with Irvine. Irvine able to run a long way before he gets to Murphy. Coleman waits at dummy half. Across to Marshall. Marshall to Carruth. Straightened straight into a shoulder there of Williams. Williams goes bang, forces the error, and that's his job done. He's making his way off the field for a rest. And now a penalty to Rockingham to help them out even further. Well, a really good shot. Brings that attacking raid from the Giants to a close. One picked up. Now McIntyre. Who'll play the ball? Pera. He's the man that just came on to replace Williams. Met solidly by Irvine. Slowish play the ball. Now with Worth. Out to Murphy. Murphy's got some room to move. Well, the ankle tap was important there. Now the kick goes through, chasing through his Hills. Haney able to get across and close that one down. But again, a clever kick and a difficult place for the Giants to work from. They'll be working from out of that corner. It's Haney again out of dummy half, beating a couple, but not going too far. Well, Loader was trying to say that he dropped the ball and just stayed holding on to him. Held him down too long and ends up giving away the penalty. So it's Marshall. He kicks for the sideline this time. The crowd got excited there. The kick was coming towards a young kid just walking along. It didn't miss him by much. And again, we've got a player down right up against the sideline. I don't see exactly who it is. It may actually be Zach McIntyre, who came across to this left-hand side. He's been playing on the right, and again looks in a fair bit of distress as he comes off the field. Well, look across and it looks like McIntyre is still out there. So any case, the Giants now up over the halfway line with Joel Irvine. Now to Coleman. Carruth gets New Osceola rather with the ball. It's actually Tom Hills on debut. That's the player that's come off. So that's that entire left-hand side is gone for Rockingham, centre and winger. Which is going to mean a few players playing out of position in this final 22 and a half minutes. It's 18-10 in favour of the Sharks over the Giants on the Cash Converter scoreboard. Sharks with the footy, working it out of their own end now. Now with Goodwin. Goodwin met by Marshall and Coleman. Centre of the halfway line. Kick there from McLaughlin. Davis gets hold of it. Davis comes back towards the middle of the field. Runs into the shoulder there of Tutor, and the ball's come free. It's going to be a knock on here against Joondalup. Gus Marshall claiming there was more than one in the tackle when that one-on-one strip came from Keelan Tutor. The referee just explaining they both dropped off. So it ends up being a knock-on against Joondalup. Trying to find someone to feed the scrum there, Tom Murphy. He's got to pack into it. He didn't want the job, gives it to Keelan Tutor. Now they find a second rower. And eventually we're ready to go. Andrew Jeffrey. They go wider. There's McIntyre, gives the short ball. Barclay gets away from one. And just finding the grass there in the end is Kurt Damiand. Coming back towards the middle underneath there for Pera. Pera, he'll stand in the tackle there of Coleman. Coleman's having none of that. Puts him down onto his back. Jeffrey at dummy half. Dummies to Worth. Goes to Tutor. They go out wide now. Goodwin fires that one across. And coming back is the makeshift winger. Kelvin Coleman goes straight between defenders. Scores the try. Well, they've lost their centre and their winger on this left-hand side. And look at the way the Rockingham Sharks adjust. Kelvin Coleman runs a beautiful line and scores to extend this lead. It's 22-10, kick to come. Well, an important conversion attempt. Breezy conditions. Goal kicking hasn't been overly easy. But psychologically going from 12 to 14 with under 20 to play, would be important, and he should kick this under normal circumstances. Still waiting on the kicking tee. Seems he's happy. Now John McLaughlin. I'm not sure exactly what the hold up was, but he's set now. You'd expect him to knock this over. Make it 24-10. Moves in. Well, he hasn't struck that very well, and it will be waved away. So we've still got a ball game here, but the Giants, they need to be next to score. 18 and a half to play. And they've really controlled this second 40, the Rockingham Sharks. They've been far from perfect, and they'll have a few things they'll want to work on during the week. They have been the better team in this second half. And another strong carry back, and again it's a high tackle. Niwasiolo, this time the man pinged. Marcel Loader. Cops one in the chops. You have to set their targets a little bit lower, the Joondalup Giants. They keep giving piggyback penalties, and that kick for the sideline, again, just uses the breeze to perfection. There, John McLaughlin. Looked like it wasn't going to find touch there at one stage, but just kept carrying. Berryman. White, rather. And then the error from Murphy, the pass up over his shoulder, not one of the best ones he's received during his career. There, Tom Murphy. And slow to his feet here, Travis Haney. The Giants, they need to find something. They need to find some energy. Marshall takes that tackle. Irvine goes right to the line, dummies. He's put down. They go out the back with Kingy. Made the move from the outside backs into lock forward. Now Bullard. Bullard put down for the Giants. Slowish play the ball. They work down a short side. Marshall tips it on to Irvine. Marshall got hit late. They almost go through a gap there through Haggett, and the referee hasn't missed the tackle on Marshall. They go back for it. That was a penalty, and it was late in the tackle count as well. They tap and go, and an important opportunity now for the Giants with Irvine. Irvine centre field put down. Now Bullard. Bullard jinks at the line. Thought about passing. Takes the tackle of Worth. Coleman waits at dummy half. Goes to Irvine again. He floats it out to Chaplin and goes wider, and Haney puts it down. Well, put that down cold as a spud, Travis Haney. And once again, every time they've had half an opportunity, Joondalup, they let Rockingham off without really threatening. They haven't looked like scoring points in this second half at all. There's Murphy. He takes it up towards the halfway line as the Sharks look to put a nail in the coffin here. White. He's chopped down, slow to his feet. Now with Murphy, steps off the right. Runs into Coleman, he's probably made 40 tackles in this game, River Coleman. There's another one there on tackle 5. Goes to McLaughlin. McLaughlin goes to the sky, a difficult one to touch. That one would have been swirling around in that breeze, and Davis has done a good job to take it cleanly. Niwasiolo steps out of dummy half and looks to take some metres. But Rockingham handing it over in the right part of the field. Going across field is Haney. Haney looking for a crease, looking for a hole. But the Sharks contain him. And again put him down onto his back and slow him right down. Now Sparrow. He goes for a carry. Go out to Marshall. That's from just inside the 40, looking for the 40-20. Coleman's got a touch on it, and that's going to go touch in goal and be a goal line dropout. Well, the threat of Gus Marshall kicking from just inside the 40. They needed a big play, the Giants. They were going nowhere and going there quickly. And Marshall said, I'll get us out of here. He drives one down into the corner. Over the head of Kelvin Coleman. Stuck a hand up to try and keep it in the field of play. Got a fingertip to it. And goes touch in goal. And another opportunity now for the Giants to get themselves back in this game. They go for the short dropout. It's not going to carry 10. And that will be a penalty to the Giants. 10 out right in front. Doesn't change the situation too much. They get a chance to set their defensive line. The sun wreaks havoc with the commentator. Bullard. Straight into Perra. Perra drives him backwards. Wants to play the ball. Now to Marshall. Marshall goes across. Sheehan. Well, he's been off the field for a while, I think, Taurine Sheehan, but back out there. Now Irvine. Irvine goes to the line. Runs into McIntyre, who rolls him around onto his back. Coleman points to the left. He goes to the right, goes himself. Looks to go through Worth. He's got to the line, but will be held up. Well, he just picked out Peter Worth. Runs straight at him, and Worth gets underneath him, holds him up. I don't think that was ever going to end any other way. So now they play the ball. It goes to Marshall. Marshall rolls it in behind. They shadow that one really nicely there, the Rockingham Sharks. Brendan White, he's done some good things in this game, but just kept shadowing the ball, didn't have to play at it. Giants couldn't get around him to plant it in the in goal, and it goes over the dead ball line, a 7-tackle set. So we're down to 11.5 to go. It's the Rockingham Sharks leading 22 points to 10 on the Cash Converter scoreboard. And the fuel to go and play Premiership round 2. Now Jeffrey dummies to the outside, goes himself, spins up over the halfway line. He'll play the ball. Coleman has gone into dummy half. They go across to McIntyre. He straightens. They scoot down a short side with McLaughlin. He gets Andrew Jeffrey running a hole. Jeffrey's looking for support. He finds some. Put down. Jeffrey goes across to Tudor. Tudor's going to kick to the corner. Coleman's back over there. Coleman gets up high, claims it, and he's put down up against the sideline on tackle 5. Oh, well, I don't know how that happened. Brendan White got out of dummy half. There was no one on that short side for Joondalup who had dreams of scoring a hat-trick, and he's gone without the ball. Well, that might have wrapped up this game once and for all. Instead, the Giants still have a heartbeat. Looks like Tiger Williams out onto the field for the Giants. That was his first carry. Irvine just tips that one onto Carruth. They saw that coming, jamming up right in his blind spot. There was Logan Barclay, hit him hard. Buffeting run there from Coleman. Now with Marshall, a chip and chase into space. Haney gets to it first, can't buy a bounce though. It's still there. A second kick goes on it. Davis wants to keep it in the field of play but can't. Well, it was unconventional. In the end, they found decent territory. Because they were back a long way after the almost 40-20, the kick not that long ago from Gus Marshall. This time goes the shorter option. Rockingham end up getting the ball back. Joondalup getting in towards miracle territory. Down by 12. 8.5 to go. Now Perra. Perra takes that one forward. Again runs into some solid contact. It's flipped over onto his back. Referee not thinking that was a genuine attempt from Perra to get up as Ben Bolt looks to throw away a couple of defenders. Jeffrey to Tudor. Tudor, short ball to White. Coleman at dummy half on tackle 5. Goes back to Tudor. He's going to put boot to ball. Spiral torpedo, a difficult one to take. They've played it that well. It would have been 6 again. The second kick it there from Rockingham, and Davis ends up with it in his hands. Both teams showed their soccer skills, but it's Joondalup that end up with it. Williams has put the ball down, and now a chance for Rockingham to put this one to sleep. Pera's got the ball. Jeffrey. Now they charge it straight and hard. That's been stripped out. There's about 6 in the tackle. Well, he's actually just going to give the ball back, and they're going to be allowed to play it. That pass, not the best. Picked up beautifully by Murphy, though. McLaughlin. He's put down. Murphy now to dummy half. Goes to Tudor. Tudor. He's already got one. And again, keeps struggling, driving towards the line. Eventually the referee calls held. Andrew Jeffrey to dummy half, coming back. Charging towards the line. Too big. Too strong. The Rockingham Sharks wrap this one up, and they will win in round 2. Tuakana Williams. Well, he's been very hard to handle, and from that close, you would have needed an army to stop him, and the Giants don't have one. Looks like Keelan Tudor is going to have the conversion attempt. Pretty easy one. They'll look to take some time off the clock, and after leading 14-10 at the break, they've been the far better team in this second 40, the Sharks. It's going to be a victory by a margin they thoroughly deserve. They've been all Rockingham in this second half. About 5.5 left to play. Keelan Tudor from close range moves in, knocks it over, raises the flags. 28 points to 10 on the cash converted scoreboard. Marshall makes his way back to the halfway line. Shane Harding makes his way back out onto the field for the Giants. Drives one low, looking for an awkward bounce. And must have been a fumble there. We lose that one behind the interchange shed, but touch judge was right on the mark. He said it was knocked backwards as Tuakana Williams, looking to bowl a perfect 300 game. He's knocking all the pins down here today. That one comes free. It'll be picked up. Goes out to Carruth. It's Harding that picked it up. And the Giants looking to take something into future weeks. It's Coleman. Well, his work rate is unquestioned. And again, bouncing away from a couple as Harding gets into dummy half. Looking to organise something. Carruth. Runs straight into Pera. Now out the back to Marshall. Marshall goes to the line, gets the ball to Haney. Haney bounces away from a couple, gets towards the line and then knocks on just short. Well, desperate defence again from the Rockingham Sharks. They got there and they prevented what looked like a certain try to Travis Haney. And he must have been over the line when he's knocked it on because they're coming out to the 20. Well, desperate scrambling defence. And that will please Coach Tom Murphy. And Coleman, he gets out of dummy half. He had his arms free, looking for a support runner. Broke through the tackles. He's broken through another couple. Still standing, gets the offload away. Barclay now bounces out of a tackle. Gets the ball now to McIntyre, who's put down 40 out. Well, the Rockingham Sharks, they're looking to put the cherry on top. Logan Barclay now through the middle. He stands, spins, put down, Jeffrey. Jeffrey out of dummy half. Gets the ball, McLaughlin gets out of a tackle, gets the ball to McIntyre. McIntyre looking to push away from defenders. Well, the will to defend doesn't seem to be there at the minute for the Giants. Again, coming back, and they've come up with the error. The ball's come free, the whistle's gone. Knock on by the Giants is the call. They've knocked that pass down in desperation. Trying to stop further points, but with a couple of minutes to go. And Rockingham with a scrum feed, 10 out from the Giants line. You'd think the question isn't a matter of if, but who. Who will it be to get the last try here for the Rockingham Sharks? Stealing two to the weights at first receiver. Just tips that one on to Bolt. Bolt dummies on the outside, takes it up himself. Stands in the tackle. Will eventually be put down onto his back. Two to weights at dummy half. They go to the open side. A bit of a bobble there from Loader. He still holds onto it and spins towards the line. Will play the ball back to Jeffrey. Jeffrey gets it out. Turns that one underneath to McIntyre. Jeffrey dribbles one in behind. It hits feet. Jeffrey, I think, has picked it up. He wants 6 again. I don't think they're going to get that. And he's come up with the knock-on eventually. Well, it was just crawling towards the line there, Andrew Jeffrey. Couldn't quite get there. And Joondalup hold on there. Well, they certainly show some pride in the jersey in that defensive set there, the Giants. Inside the final minute, 28 points to 10, the Rockingham Sharks over the Joondalup Giants on the Cash Converter scoreboard. If you were to go and play Premiership, key game. Now Irvine, they go out wide, they're just passing along and eventually gets to Sparrow with some room to move. Sparrow gets up over the 40-metre line, bounces away from Jeffrey twice. But the little terrier, he keeps on coming. Rips him to the ground on the halfway line. On the third attempt, Chaplin. He puts a little kick over the top. Some interference, but it sits up nicely for Goodwin. In the final 15 seconds, they're looking to have some fun there, the Giants. Chaplin just stands over the top of Goodwin. Doesn't really allow him to play the ball, but that might be the final run of this half. We get one more play. Coleman gets out of dummy half. He gets through the hole. Kelvin Coleman into space. Going towards the line. Coleman still towards the try line and will be pulled down just a few metres short. Well, give some further entertainment to the crowd here at Lark Hill. And the Rockingham Sharks, they walk away from this one victorious, 28 points to 10. It was 14-10 at half time. All Rockingham in the second 40. They had the bye in round 1 and they've got the victory in round 2. Joondalup Giants, they'll head into round 3, still looking for their first win of the year after a draw in round 1. We'll be covering the Rockingham Sharks again next week, so be sure to tune in. We'll see you then. Till next week, goodbye. The Rockingham Sharks, they walk away from this one victorious, 28 points to 10.